So I didn't eat all my food yesterday because I was still recovering from the abuse from my mother, domestic abuse, uh, causing physical damage, physical distress for one day. I had an anxiety disorder all day yesterday. I had the beginnings of any number of illnesses starting in my body, which I had to process. And I actually got a good sleep last night, thankfully. I'm going to Nanaimo today. And my mom is just like an average worker, psychopath, worker drone that Canada and America produce. People don't know they're basically living in a prison, right? They have a prison psychology. They join the army, they join the workforce because they grew up in prison, and most of their jobs are relief from the prison they've already been in that they were born into. Right? People work because it's a relief from all the other stuff they've been subjected to. Nobody in a nice life wants to work as a cashier in a supermarket 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, standing on your feet. Right? So the more impoverished, like Canada, a country can be, regardless of your income, because everyone's impoverished, the better to get them to work. They never think about the world they live in. They never conceptualize what's happening to the mass of people. They don't think that human beings can even really be controlled that much. Life for the human animal. They'll sit down and watch specials about animals and this like that in Africa. They don't see themselves as an animal. They see their environments as perfectly natural for them. And they don't understand all the illnesses they're having. And it's not that they're not aware of them. In fact, they're so aware of them that they ignore them. So that when you bring them up, it's like, oh, well, oh, yeah, well, that person committed suicide. Oh, well, ooh. That person's slowly dying. And what you see around you is people who are slowly committing suicide. So I had a woman I lived with who sexually assaulted me with a couple other fat people, and she's dying now. I've seen her. She's dying. You can see her body is dying. She's dying. Right? And people that assault me usually have a terminal illness. Only people with terminal illnesses ever assault me. Right? They're dying. They're dying. You know what my mom attacked me because of? Because she wants to get plastic surgery and she didn't want to tell me about it. Right? They have no... It could have been anything, right? And then you eventually, the day after, find out what it was. Right? And they start to resent that they have to tell someone. They resent this. And in the course of which she told me that I was a complete loser because I don't work and because I'm living with her. That's my mom. You have to understand, for the people, the girls and boys, and they're basically all girls and boys. Most people you meet are children. Understand that. They're children. When you meet someone, whoever they're children still. Right? And they're stuck in big people's bodies. It's a good way to understand human beings. And they're sick children. Right? They're happy when they're in the school buses going to school, which are prison buses, taking them to prison. And all this world is an open-air prison. But no one's going to believe you. Right? Because they're in a state of perpetual chronic denial. They can't fucking handle it. They can't handle what's been done to them. They can do enough to you and your family and you don't notice. By the time someone notices, you don't want to hear about it. You love your enslavement. You love your enslavement. You love it. I'm not saying you might love it. You do love it. You fucking love it. You moisturize it with your flesh and blood every day to keep the luster of communist slavery alive. The way you talk to people, you keep the luster of slavery alive. You try to make it look good, right? Leave a good-looking corpse. And the first thing people do when you tell them about the world is they defend it. They keep its luster alive. They say, oh, but it's so good. No, but my parents did this for me, and the world does this for me. Isn't it a great thing what they do for me? The very nature of my mother's mind is depraved. It's depraved. My mother is depraved. As I open the closet doors, I see the sling from my dislocated shoulder on Christmas Day from my mom and a lady down the hall who sexually attacked me. Right? And you hear that and you think, oh, that's crazy. That would never happen to me. It never happens where I live. That never happened in my family. Is that so? Rape never happened in your life. You know nothing of rape. Nobody knows anything of rape. Nothing. Wow. In all your TV shows, and all your movies, and all your books, and all your education, you can't construe the world as rape. World as rape. And this prison is exactly like a prison because people act like prisoners. Just by not working the negative attitudes that I get from my mom and my family, the incredible, unconscious, sadistic prejudice against somebody. It doesn't matter how much work I do to understand the sickness of the people around me. It doesn't matter how many books I write. It doesn't matter how many thousands of hours and thousands of miles that I walk and pray and do ceremony and connect to everything I possibly can. Like going into a library and you're looking for the greatest knowledge you can find. I go into nature. I go into my own mind. I go into this world. I go into the world that you and I live in, and I look for all the greatest medicine that I can find. And I'm a loser. Right? You get slotted in by these other fellow inmates. And you can get roped into their dramas. I've had bus drivers fucking assault me when I get on the bus because I just don't look rich enough for them or like I'm working hard enough. Right? I have to deal with that. Granted, it doesn't happen every day. But it happens. I don't know what to wear today. I don't know what to fucking wear. It's cloudy, right? These birds, right? My mom hates them. She doesn't talk about them except with hatred. Birds. Hi. Were you just born recently? Aw. So beautiful. You know? And they probably just want a little food. They're like, hey, humans, you have so much food. You reap so many grains from the earth. And then, you know, they're not hurting for food, but I'm going to go and give them. Now my mom will be home. She's getting coffee, right? She'll never feed these birds. There. You know, my mom's a nice person. And all. Everybody's a nice person, right? Okay, it looks like there's going to be some clouds and rain, so I'm going to put some pants on. But everybody's a nice person. I'm a nice person, aren't I? I hope I'm a nice person. But they're all communists. And because of the abuse, my mom made it out to me just 2 days ago now. I have to be careful. I have to be careful what I say. She's feeling fine right now. She doesn't think anything's wrong. And this is where most people usually, like, you start to feel, I talk to her sometimes and I just feel a little anger bubbling up inside of me because you can't really control it. So I have to be very mindful. I have to restrain myself. You know, I mean, she sexually humiliated me 2 days ago, and it comes so easy to her after half a glass of wine. It's like it's built right into her. It's built right into these inmates, because you live in a prison yard. What do you think people are going to behave like? They may not behave that way to you, but they behave that way to me, because you're in a prison. How do you expect people are going to? They're sick. They're sick. You're taken to school in a prison bus. People live in prison, right? You want to know how to stop people from being sick? It's fucking simple. Pay them a decent wage. Lower the cost of living. Make sure that prices start going down slowly. Because they make an infinite amount of fucking money off you anyway. Multiply the people of the world by 50 billion, and that's how much money they have over you. Right? They issue a $50 billion bond when you're born, and then they make you pay for it, and they hold it against you. That's how it works. You'll never be as rich as you were born. You were born richer, and then you're paid for it all of your life. Right? Because you're so rich, you have to be impoverished. People don't know what's happening to them. People have no idea how sick they're being made. And what's more, they don't care. As long as everyone else is being made as sick as you are, you don't care. The entire culture, the entire history, the entire education system, everything you believe is making you and everyone sick. You live in a schizophrenic delusion. You live in a communist fucking society from beginning to end, everywhere on this fucking inhabited landmass called Earth. And you've allowed them to do it. Your families have allowed them to do it. Your fathers have allowed them to do it. Your mothers have allowed them to do it. They fucking drive you to school and say, go in there. Your fucking father in his head doesn't know a fucking thing going on in that school. He's never even read a book about it. None of your fucking mothers with their fucking tits. And they pushed you out of their fucking wombs. They take you to a fucking institution run by the sickest people in the history of the world, and they haven't read a book about it. They don't know a fucking thing about why they're created. They don't give a fuck about what you're learning in there. 12 fucking years to learn long fucking division? And you're fucking happy with that? Oh yeah, it's great. It's Canada. Oh, but I just need someone to take my children where I go to work. Ooh, 40 hours a week. Ooh, because I'm strong. And everything is safe and good. When I take my truck to work every day and I come home and everyone's safe and strong because Canada's strong. And I put my fucking physical energy in there. Give me Canada. I want to fuck Canada. Let me put my fucking dick in Canada. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Meanwhile, you're getting fucked up the ass. You're fucking the guy in front of you. You're fucking the guy beside you. You're going to work and fucking everyone on the highway beside you. You're helping them use all of your wealth against all of you. And the most important weapon in the entire system is you. If you didn't do it, it would all fucking go away. I've met psychos and con men. And they would never be able to hurt anyone if they weren't able to convince you or me to help them. And at some point, when you know sick con people, the only thing you can do is say they're sick. Get the fuck away from me. Right? If you knew someone like me, you'd say, you're sick. Get away from me. Well, your society is sick. It's making people sick. If you treated children the way they were supposed to, if you didn't force them to have to escape their childhood, right? If you paid people an honest wage, if you got rid of fucking inflation, right? And people didn't have to work so much, everything would get better, and you fucking know it. Diseases would start to go away. But you can't do anything because you're weak. You're weak. You're a coward. You've been weakened by the communist system. You've been weakened by the education system. They've trained you to accept it. They've trained you to accept it. I will accept it. I will accept it all. I will not think about anything. I will accept it all. That makes me strong. It makes you strong for an hour. It makes you pathetic in posterity. It makes you pathetic. And our ancestors are pathetic. My fucking uncles were nothing better than homosexuals, dressing up in their fine pinstripe suits. You ever wonder why fashion is such a big deal for everyone? You ever wonder why fashion is such a big deal for men? Men are so fucking concerned with what they're fucking wearing every day. What is that? You don't see any other animal putting on clothing and going, look at me. Women with their earrings and their makeup, their breasts. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Fuck me. Fuck me. Know me. Fuck me. Love me. My mom barely has any money. She's going to spend $3,000 because she doesn't like the circles under her eyes. She's 73 years old and spends all fucking day watching TV and walking her elderly dog. She's like, I used to look better. She'll drop $500 a week easy buying clothes and shoes. And everything women buy is expensive. It's so expensive to be a woman. And then the mental disorders. See, beneath the fashion, which looks so nice, next thing you know, you're not just covering up a blemish, you're covering up the fact that you're a psychopath. Quick. I'm a lustrous psychopath, a psychopathic queen, and I will sashay through the day and let everyone know how much I love them, and I have wonderful interactions with people. Would you like some of my new skincare product? It's only $19.99 for a tiny sample. If you want the whole bottle, you're better off just joining the company. And then you can get other people to join. And don't my skin look pretty? You could have pretty skin too. I see that. I've got a little stick here to measure the prettiness of your skin. Let's see here. Let's see how pretty it is. Because we all know that the quality of your fucking skin has everything to do about the world around you. But if you look better and you feel better, the world just seems like a better place. Hillary Clinton's like, when it's a tough day, I make sure I look my best. I put on my fat suit and I pretend to be the first lady of the world. Woo! And you're led by homosexuals. You're led by actors. They tell you how to dress. They tell you how to dance. They tell you how to talk. Your children are spending whatever moment they can. They're not forced to be in a penitentiary like a school or a job playing video games. And you're happy to let them. Because what does it do? It keeps them away from you. It keeps them away from you. And what do your fucking parents tell me? Your parents tell me they like putting you in school because it keeps them away from you. It gives you something to do while they go to their fucked up jobs to make the minimum amount of fucking money you can make for everything they're giving. Their home, their children, and their sanity, and their health. But it's worth it because it's Canada. We have the lowest education and medical system in the world, but we love it. None of it makes any sense. And you wonder, like you think I'm crazy, you wonder why people walk around sick, murmuring shit to themselves. This Parksville, this town, this island, it's ugly as fuck. It's ugly as fuck. These towns are all ugly as fuck. There's a lot of nature around, which makes it better, right? They get millions of dollars of people's tax dollars, and then last year they erected a beautiful sign made out of 4 or 5 pieces of wood saying Parksville. And everybody's happy. Right? I know some of the people on councils. They're all psychopaths. They're all on these councils. They're out of their fucking mind. They're physically sick. If you gave a basic health exam to most of your local politicians, you'd have to retire all of them. They're all obese and sick. The fact is, anyone can be a politician. Anyone can be a used car salesman. But not anyone can be your father. Not anyone can be your mother. Not anyone can be your friend. Not anyone can be your brother when that still meant something. Not anyone can be your sister when that still meant something. When it still meant something. And how can people be your mother and your father and your brother and your sister when they're so sick? And when the world makes them so sick? And all they can do is work and work and work and make themselves sicker. And then they drink too much one day, and maybe they hit you. And maybe they say something to you. Maybe they put you down. And they say, oh, get over it. It's not like I treat you like that all the time. Look at all these advantages you have. I can treat you like this all the time. I can fuck you up the ass now and then. Look at how hard I work. And then the tension comes out. And the parent screams at their child. And I've seen them. I've protected little ones. I've taken abuse protecting 3-year-old children from their 500-pound fucking mothers screaming in their faces with spittle coming out of their mouth. And 100-pound mothers, skinny, self-employed fucking women who everyone on a fucking island thinks is the most amazing yoga instructor in the world, whose child's testicles aren't even being formed, and she makes up a fucking lie to explain why they're not forming. When I watch the way she fucking yells at this child, and when I put myself in the way, you know what she does? She physically assaults me in front of 3 other women who think I'm a problem. That's your fucking white people who think I'm abusive to a child. That's your fucking problem. All these people are insane and they're just surviving. Look around you. Are you just surviving? Look around you. Are you just surviving? Right? In exchange for what must be the inestimable shame of a bus pass and a welfare check, I can actually live longer than you can. I will live longer than you. I'm not dying. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm fucking alive. Do you understand what that is? I get to fucking live. You may think I'm a fucking moron, but tomorrow I'll be alive. And 25 years from now, I'll be alive. I'll get to fucking scream into the beautiful day. Where will you be? Fucking working at your job? Burying your parents? Burying your children? I've talked to local mothers who bury their children. And they tell me the story about how it's everyone's fault but theirs. You go to a communist doctor, they're not liable for anything. They can give your mother or children any drugs. It says in their little handbooks to give them, and they can fucking impetize them. They can demonize them. They can fucking riddle them with poison, and it's all good. Good! Like God is good! It's good to poison children! It's good to put them on Ritalin! It's good! It gets them working! Which is good! And we're very smart people! We know if we can get our children to work, it's good! Because I work, and it's good! I got my Tim Hortons coffee, and it's good! I can't fucking control myself, but it's good! It's all good. It's all good. It's okay, people. Settle down. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. It's all going to be all right. Just go to school, right? I went to school. I got a 4.0 average all the way through university. I'm pretty smart. You must be so smart. Your IQ must be up there. Woo! Good job. A performing seal could do that. Good job. Dum 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 da dum 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 dum. Right? Because anything you can do, look around you, for any of these people that they think is great, will leave you aspiring to be a moron the rest of your life. It'll leave you aspiring to be a moron the rest of your life. I'm not a moron. I'm not a moron. You look in my eyes, you think I'm a fucking moron? You think I'm insane? I'm alive. I'm a human being. I commune with the fucking ancestors, man. I go out in the fucking forest and raise my arms and bald eagles fucking fly over me. That's the electrical energy of our spirit. It serves you. They're with you. Nature has vision. Society is a vision of death. The sky, the clouds have more fucking vision than you do. Excrement
from an ant outside your fucking house has more fucking vision than all your fucking family put together. Because all you do is slave away, and you repeat the fucking slogans, and you turn on the fucking TV, and you worship the fucking people. Oh, did you hear what Sandra Bullock said the other day? It's on YouTube. It was fucking amazing. She cut the ribbon for a new building in support of autistic children. And they're going to bring them there, and Sandra's going to hug all of them, and they're going to give them all the medication and the support they need to be functional members of society. And then at 40 years old, they're sitting there, and they're pressing buttons. This is my job. I work in the Navy. I'm in the U-boat. This is what I do. I fucking pump my nads all day. And then I go into a workout room in a tiny little box, and I go like this. And I report for duty. Oh, yes, sir. Oh, I'm a fucking person. Oh, my God. Why do I like the submarine? Because my whole life I was incarcerated. A submarine for 3 months is a fucking tour of beauty and euphoria compared to the crib I was in when I was 2 years old, surrounded by sadistic people who could control me, right? Because all your parents are mentally ill from communism. They don't know what reality is, right? Go ask a native person. Go ask one of the great chiefs what reality is. Now go ask a white person, any white person. It's okay. Society's amazing. They've spread the shit everywhere. It doesn't matter who you pick. Go pick anybody. Go sit at Starbucks or Tim Hortons and find some nice pretty boy and girl, and you ask them all these hard-working families with all the incredible might and technology of the modern world, all the video games and everything that pumps your nads on YouTube, and you ask them, what is reality? And get ready for your ears to bleed. For your ears will bleed that day. Let them bleed. You're going to want to rip your heart out of your own chest and fucking eat it in front of them. It'll drive you insane. Do you think my mother knows what reality is? Do you think any of these fuckers going to work have ever thought about reality while listening to their fucking radio? The first thing I do when I get in my mother's car is turn the radio off.